Hello everyone, how's it going? Today is November 22, 2015, and happy Saturday. We're going to do some coding exercise, and we're gonna work on LeetCode 200, number of islands. So the idea is pretty straightforward. You are giving like an list of lists, and then to represent like a 2D space with a 1 or 0. 1 means the land and 0 means the water. The question is gonna ask to write a function to find out how many islands are there. So in the first example, you see all these ones are connected somehow. So there's only one island. And in the second example, we can see like this part is one island, and this is another island, and this is another island. So it's only directly connected from left, right, or up and down counts. So this is diagonal. It doesn't count as a connection. And same for here. So that's the requirement from the problem. So I'm going to go for the solution. So this will be like a typical BFS, aka like a breadth first search or depth first search. Both will work. The only problem of like DFS in this case would be like each step of DFS, we're gonna push data to the stack. And if we are given like a really, really huge grid, then the step will go really, really deep. It might get to like a stack overflow issue. So BFS doesn't have this kind of issue. So I'll choose to implement in a BFS way. So initially, we're gonna do some like a basic setup. First of all, check if the grid is a valid parameter. If not, just return 0. That means like you don't even give a map, so there's like 0 islands available. And then if the grid is valid, then we want to get like a NR and NC. So that means the number of rows and number of columns out, and also initialize number of islands to be 0. And after all, we're gonna traverse the map there. So we're gonna use a nested for loop. So the outside for loop, we're gonna look for each row, and then the internal for loop, we're gonna loop through each column there. So first of all, we're gonna check the current coordinate. If it is 1, that meaning is a land there. We're gonna do something. So notice this, there's no else for this if. That means if it's like it's not a land, then we're not gonna do anything. Just skip this coordinate and continue to the next. So now let's go back. If it's a land, that means we found one island. So we increase the number of islands by 1. And then we mark the current coordinate to 0. So here I happen to reuse 0, but it really doesn't matter for this question. You can set it to anything other than 1. It will work. And then for BFS, we need a queue. So in Python, it's just like a list, can be used as a queue. So the first step will be put the current coordinate into the neighbors queue there. And then we have this while loop. So we're gonna continue as long as the neighbors has some sort of coordinate inside it. And the first step, we're gonna get the first element out from the queue. So queue is first in, first out. So this is the first coordinate that we put in to the queue that's available. And then we're gonna check like the row above it and the row below it. So that means like up, down, and then left and right. So left and right is the column before left to the current column, or the column to the right of the current column here. So for each of these available coordinates, we're gonna check if it is like a 1, it is a land. If it's like an ocean, meaning it's 0, then we're not gonna do anything. But if it's a land, we're gonna push the land's coordinate to the cube and then mark this new coordinate to 0 there. So for each one of these 4 cases. And then this while loop, it's gonna continue until we mark all the coordinates of the current island to be visited. Then it will stop. And then this nested for loop will make sure we go over every single coordinate as the start point to finish the marking. And if like a coordinate, a land is modded, then it won't be count because it's already marked. So at the end, we can just return the number of islands. So this is all good, but we can optimize it a little bit there. So this is like written in a slightly different way. The main idea is pretty similar. So I define this deltas variable. It's basically like a list of lists. Inside the list, there are like 4 coordinates, basically meaning like the row above, the row below, the column to the left, and the column to the right. So it's like up, down, left, right there. And then in the while loop that we just saw, first of all, as usual, we pop up the existing coordinate from the queue. And then for each of the 4 available deltas, we're gonna compute like the new coordinate there. So basically just get the current coordinate and then plus the first coordinate of delta, and then the column plus the second coordinate of delta. So this would give us the new coordinate for like a up, down, and left, right. And then for each of the new coordinate, we just check it is in the reasonable range. So reasonable range meaning it should be larger or equal to 0, and it should be smaller than the number of row if it is a row coordinate, and it should be the smaller than the number of columns if it's a column coordinate. And of course, that new coordinate should be a length. And then we put this into the queue and also mark this like a coordinate to be visited. Here I change it a little bit to X. So just to tell the difference between like a ocean and something like a land or the visit. It doesn't matter for this like question, but might be a better practice if we need to recover the lands later. So at the end, we can also just return the number of islands. Yeah, that's pretty much the solution. If you found this video helpful, please smash the like button. It really helps support the channel. And don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. Subscribing also helps the algorithm recommend similar videos to you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.